An anxious woman hides under a cabinet, holding her breath. She cautiously peeks out to see what's happening and spots a red laser. As she stares at it, her eyes begin to glow. News reporters announce that 7 alien spaceships have been sighted. They are uncertain about the aliens' intentions, but their arrival is causing widespread panic among the public.
Widespread panic is escalating after the sudden appearance of alien spaceships. Unexplained.
Various countries are attempting to establish contact with the extraterrestrials. While national leaders urge calm, unusual military activity is creating confusion about the true intentions of the alien ships. Dr. Michelle Riley, a scientist, watches the news with growing concern. She then has a video call with her family, who urge her to come home, unsure of what the future holds.
I need you here. We gotta all be together if this thing gets out of control.
Riley is heading out for a government job. Her father asks if she'll be safe, and she reassures him. Her brother expresses frustration, accusing her of prioritizing her work over family, especially during a crisis.
Always put yourself and your career ahead of us every time.
As the call ends, her father encourages her to follow her dreams, even though the situation is difficult.
I am very proud of you, and I know your mother would be too.
Soon after, Riley is blindfolded and driven in a military van to an undisclosed location. Still blindfolded, a man leads her into a building and down a long elevator ride deep underground. Finally, the man removes her blindfold and shows her the housing unit where she'll be staying while working on the classified government project.
They've all been designed to keep a person alive in isolation for 12 months.
He explains that she won't be allowed to communicate with anyone outside and can only interact with her assigned team. She is completely cut off from the outside world. He introduces her to a device resembling a chair, and she asks about its purpose.
Sir, that's going to keep you alive.
He explains that it's a secure scanning unit designed to block invasive surveillance by the travelers, a mysterious alien force capable of penetrating even heavily protected structures like their bunker. The chair provides the only reliable protection against such scans. He instructs her to sit and demonstrates how it works.
Secure the head panels. 3, swing the torso panels in. This alarm goes
Afterward, he takes her to another room and tells her it will serve as her lab. He then reveals the nature of her mission. She is there to help develop a biological weapon against the aliens.
remotely with your team to create a biological weapon to neutralize the travelers.
Riley hesitates, disturbed by the idea of building a weapon, but he tells her the travelers are not here in peace. He hands her a packet of documents and information and prepares to leave. Before he exits, Riley calls out, asking what she should do in case of an emergency. He offers no answer and leaves silently. Left alone, Riley begins reviewing the documents on the travelers. They include instructions for using the tools within the bunker, outline the mission objectives, and list the major challenges they face.
This bioweapon must be capable of infiltrating the traveler's breathing system.
The next day, Riley meets her team. The group includes Frank Lawrence, project manager, Denise Cooper, a specialist in mechanosynthesis and nanocapsule research, Dr. Jacques Bisset, an engineer, Dr. Sam Ellis, team leader for biological weapons, and Dr. Finley Barlow, deputy head of the organic team. Finally, Riley introduces herself.
It's nice to meet you all. I'm Dr. Michelle Riley.
During the meeting, Dr. Finley rudely interrupts, mistaking her for a junior researcher. He criticizes her presence and warns against amateur mistakes.
They ask us to save the world and they send us a professor?
After the meeting, Dr. Sam Ellis calls Riley again to apologize for Finley's behavior. He encourages her, explaining that it was he who requested her specifically for the project after reviewing her research. He believes she's more than qualified.
I wanted a woman like you.
As they talk, Ellis casually asks where her quarters are located. Riley, suspicious, reminds him they're not supposed to share that kind of information. He laughs and says it was a test, and she passed.
Good. Wouldn't want to be fired on day one.
He then asks about her family. Riley talks about her father and brother, while Ellis shares that he has 2 daughters and a strained relationship with his wife.
And one bitter ex-wife who is not going to miss me while I'm down here.
Later that night, as Riley sleeps, an alarm blares from the scanner system. Jolted awake, she runs to the chair to begin a scan, just as she had been trained. But the chair's torso panel is jammed. Following the emergency protocol, she forces it open manually. The scanner activates and suddenly intense lights surround her. As the machine operates, vivid images flood her vision. She sees dead bodies, distorted faces, and horrifying scenes that feel terrifyingly real. When the scan ends, she stumbles out of the chair, rushes outside, and vomits. Her nose begins to bleed. She wipes it away quickly, just as Frank calls.
Dr. Riley, report the comms immediately.
Frank asks how she's feeling. Riley hesitates, then explains that she experienced a tingling sensation in her head and a strange feeling in her spine during the scan. Frank is alarmed.
And full vibrations down my spinal column.
He tells her this isn't normal and insists on checking whether she might be compromised. He asks if she feels disoriented or is hearing voices. She replies no. Then he asks if she's had a nosebleed. She lies and says no. Frank shares a similar incident that occurred at another site, and the scientists there eventually killed themselves. He fears the same fate could befall his team. As they continue talking, Riley sees Frank's face briefly morph into something terrifying before returning to normal.
Do not lie to me, Dr. Riley.
Later, she heads to the lab. Dr. Finley and Dr. Sam Ellis begin explaining their recent work. Throughout the discussion, Dr. Finley subtly undermines her, making passive-aggressive remarks that suggest she's not competent enough for the project. Finley and Sam explain that they have acquired a tissue sample from a traveler and are testing compounds to find a biological weakness. Although they succeeded in triggering fatal reactions in the alien tissue, the same compounds also cause lethal effects in human samples.
So far, we've caused fatal reactions in the alien samples.
Riley participates in a controlled test using the R18 solution on the alien tissue, which results in local inflammation and embolism, confirming its effectiveness, but also its danger. She then tests the S32 serum on human tissue, which proves unstable and unsafe. Suddenly, a contamination warning is triggered. Riley runs to decontaminate herself while Finley becomes frustrated, blaming the mishap on her unsteady hands. As Riley takes a shower, she remembers Finley's words.
We don't have time for amateur mistakes.
Riley keeps working and living in the bunker. By day 30 in the bunker, the team has grown more familiar and cooperative. A philosophical discussion arises among the members about the motives of the alien travelers.
Why would an advanced civilization travel light years across the galaxy just to kill us?
Jacques suggests the travelers may have destroyed civilizations simply because that's what humans would do. Sam counters that this isn't necessarily true, arguing that humanity's colonial history shouldn't define extraterrestrial intentions. Denise and Finley remain skeptical, emphasizing the violence and secrecy of the aliens' actions. The debate intensifies as team members express conflicting views, some advocating for peace, others for military retaliation.
One in her nukes, trained on that spaceship, ready to blow them out of the goddamn sky.
Later, a scan alert is triggered in Jacques' room. The team rushes to check the cameras, which shut off shortly after. When the feed returns, Jacques is seen behaving erratically, striking his head repeatedly until he collapses. Later, the team's handler contacts them with significant news. The travelers have initiated communication by sending coordinates and symbolic messages interpreted as a proposed meeting. In 3 weeks, a joint team of UN scientists and military personnel will attend. The president demands that Riley's biological project be ready by then. While there's hope for a peaceful exchange, preparations for possible violence are underway.
We hope it's peaceful, but we have to be prepared for violence.
Later, Riley is on a call with Denise. Denise encourages her, bonding over being the only 2 women on the team.
The guys get out of line, you're not feeling right. You tell me.
Back in their lab, the trio keeps working. And as expected, Finley continues to undermine Riley.
Dr. Riley, let the grown-ups do the work.
Later, Riley confides in Sam, acknowledging that Finley dislikes her and that the feeling is mutual. Their discussion turns to enzyme research. Finley discovered a mutation in the traveler genome involving enzyme S32, which humans lack. Although S32 initially seemed too unstable, Riley argues it's the only clear biochemical deviation and could be key to a non-lethal solution. Sam prefers R18 for its stability, but both agree more testing is needed due to limited time.
The way we're working, it's just wearing me out.
As they talk, Sam, breaking professionalism, asks Riley if she would consider going on a date. Should they survive this mission?
Ever get out of these bunkers alive? Can I take you out on a date?
Their conversation is interrupted by Finley's text. Sam checks and tells Riley that Finley succeeded and shows her a vial. He then drinks from it, but his face explodes. Thankfully, it's just a hallucination. Sam, Finley, and Riley continue their research. Riley believes S-32 has been underestimated and deserves testing despite its instability. Sam argues it's too risky, with model accuracy falling short of requirements. Finley sides with Riley, and they test S-32. The result is fatal for both alien and human tissue, like R-18. Sam ends the trial, calling it a failure, while Riley insists it still holds potential. Sam refuses to continue due to time constraints.
We are done with S-32. I'm not chasing any more of your pipe dreams.
During a meeting afterward that includes Frank, Riley starts bleeding from her nose. She then hallucinates hearing her father call her incompetent.
You let them control you because you're weak.
That night, a scan alert triggers in both Riley and Finley's quarters. Riley is unaffected, but Finley enters the lab afterward and begins removing his own organs. The team watches in horror. After Frank questions Riley, noting she's the only survivor of multiple scan events, she has no explanation.
I don't know. The chair saved my life. I'm not sure why it didn't work for them.
Later, while working, Riley sees her brother covered in blood. As she is looking at him terrified, she receives a call from her team with the handler on the line. He reveals the travelers attacked their country. Denise realizes her hometown, where her family lives, was also hit.
Did they attack Atlanta?
Yes, every major city.
After the call, Sam suggests the handler may be manipulating them to rush weapon production. Frank disagrees and tells Sam to follow Riley's lead, supporting her experiment. He instructs the team to resume work.
Nobody's getting any damn sleep till you give me a weapon that stops the travelers.
Later, as Sam and Riley work, Denise calls them and reveals her son has died and says she has nothing left. She then stabs herself and dies.
Denise, no!
The remaining three sit for a meeting. Frank insists they send whatever they have, even if it's not perfect. Riley warns that the virus they've developed is still unstable and could kill humans, but Frank ignores the risk and orders her to transmit it. Sam refuses to send the data, encrypts it, and Riley supports him. She then asks Frank for 24 more hours.
24 hours. 24.
Later, Frank contacts Riley as an alarm is triggered in his bunker. He tells her it's not a scan alert. Someone is physically present. His camera shuts off and Sam joins the call. They hear a strange sound, but it cuts off abruptly. Disturbed, Riley goes to the bathroom and hallucinates, hitting her own head, but quickly snaps out of it. She checks in with Sam, who confirms there's no news from Frank. Shaken, Riley tells Sam she wants to finish the weapon.
I want to finish it.
Together, they resume work and finally succeed in creating a potentially effective serum. Now they need to try it in humans, so without telling her, Sam injects himself to test it.
I already injected it.
Later, Riley checks on Sam, who admits to having headaches. To shift the mood, she asks about his daughters. Sam shares that they suffer from Batten disease and can't live past their teenage years. He believes the traveler's advanced technology could offer hope, which fuels his conflicting views.
Why would they want to harm us? Still doesn't make any sense to me.
Suddenly, Sam begins to deteriorate. He confesses that he secretly sent a signal to the travelers to stop the team from developing the weapon, believing it was the right thing to do. As his condition worsens, he begins to bleed. His face distorts, and he dies. Now the last surviving member of the team, Riley attempts to contact the outside world but gets no response. Left with no other option, she injects herself with the serum. She begins hallucinating her father telling her she will never succeed. But this time, the serum stabilizes. It's safe for humans.
S-32 Bravo human stability confirmed.
In the middle of her breakdown, the handler contacts Riley and she informs him that the rest of her team is dead. Riley tells him she succeeded in creating the bioweapon, but he replies that it's no longer needed. The situation is under control. She insists on sending the data anyway, but he terminates the transmission. Riley notices the handler's nose bleeding and realizes he's been compromised too.
Thank you, Dr. Michelle Riley. We'll be arriving soon.
She then rushes to the lab, collects all her research on a drive, stores the serums in her bag, and sits waiting for the right moment. Suddenly, an alarm signals a breach. Riley hides under a cabinet as someone cuts through the door. A scanner device enters the room, sweeping slowly. Eventually, it locates her and locks eyes with her before backing off. She then hides behind a table as a figure walks in. Prepared with a makeshift weapon, she waits, ready to defend herself. But the figure turns out to be Sam. He claims he's there to take her to her father and brother. Riley, convinced Sam is dead, suspects a trick.
The S32A serum, it killed you.
He insists what she saw was a hallucination created by the aliens and asks for the data, saying it would be safe with him. He tries repeatedly to convince her he's real.
I'll take off my helmet if you give it to me.
Riley pretends to believe him. As she approaches, appearing to hand over the data, she instead injects him with the serum. The person dies, revealing its true alien form. With no one left to stop her, Riley takes the elevator to the surface. As she emerges from the bunker and walks away, aliens begin to rise behind her.